What's up, Football Daily? With the Championship hotting up as we enter the final months of the campaign, let's take a look at 10 players who should be playing at a higher level. 10. Sander Berge. Linked with the likes of Man United, Liverpool and Napoli before signing for Sheffield United in January 2020, Sander Berge has now spent over 3 years at Bramall Lane, playing in the Championship for half of that time. If Paul Heckingbottom's side can arrest their current slump, with 3 losses in 5 games at the time of writing, then they remain on course to bounce back up this term. But if they don't, then Berge will be overdue a move. One of the most progressive midfielders in the Championship, Sander Berge has never completed a huge percentage of his passes, primarily because he is always looking to move the ball forwards in a high-tempo system. As a result, he ranks in the top 2% of midfielders outside of Europe's top 5 leagues for progressive carries, and he has also operated further up the pitch in the second tier, also ranking in the top 2% for touches in the opposition box. Berge looked like a perfect acquisition for Sheffield United when they made their assault on the top half of the Premier League. Linked with Fulham in January, he certainly has the technical chops to cut it at a mid-table top-flight club. 9. Ian Maatsen. Now in his third separate loan spell, Chelsea left-back Ian Maatsen has now gained significant experience outside the top flight, playing 34 times for Charlton in League One in 2021, playing 40 times in the Championship for Coventry last term, and racking up 31 appearances for high-flying Burnley so far this term. Having recently turned 21, Maatsen still has a fair amount of development to do, but his improvement is clear. Registering 4 goals and 5 assists at the time of writing, more goal involvements than he managed in the previous 2 seasons combined, while he also ranks second in the Claret squad for expected assists. But while he was also a useful creator at Coventry, he has become far more involved in build-up in Vincent Kompany's expansive system, with his passes into the final third rising from 2.4 to 5.3 per 90, and his progressive passes rising from 3.5 to 6. A decent striker of the ball from range too, something exemplified by an impressive brace against Swansea in January, Maatsen has developed into an incredibly well-rounded attacking left-back, something the Chelsea coaching staff will have no doubt noted during a season in which they've suffered without the often injured Ben Chilwell. With clubs like Manchester City also lacking in that area, the Blues could even face a battle to keep a talent whose contract expires at Stamford Bridge next year. 8. Alex Scott. When Pep Guardiola describes someone as an unbelievable player, it's a reason to take notice. The kind of description usually saved by the Catalan coach for the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva and Sergio Aguero, Bristol City youngster Alex Scott was on the receiving end of it after Man City's recent victory over them in the FA Cup, a game in which the 19-year-old completed 5 dribbles, the same as man of the match Phil Foden. Nicknamed the Guernsey Grealish, Scott left the Channel Islands for the Robins in 2020 and became a regular in the side last term, registering 4 goals and 2 assists and also working hard on the defensive end, ranking first in the Championship for blocks. And this term he has upped his game in the final third, already on 4 assists, ranking 10th in the division for through balls and drawing more fouls than anyone else in the English second tier. Linked with Tottenham last year and with Wolves reportedly keen to target him this summer, it feels like Scott is destined for the Premier League next season. 7. Ilias Chair. Enjoying his most prolific form for QPR and a World Cup semi-finalist with Morocco, it's been quite a season for Ilias Chair. With 5 goals and 7 assists in 32 appearances at the time of writing, the 25-year-old has continued to put in big performances despite his side winning just 2 games since October and dropping from 1st to 19th, even if he hasn't delivered them with as much consistency as he did at the beginning of the campaign. Life after Michael Beale has been a struggle at Loftus Road, and a player of Chair's calibre doesn't belong in a Championship relegation battle. The Antwerp-born playmaker is creating a career-high 2.9 chances per 90, a number he matches with his shooting, and he ranks top of the QPR squad in both fields. Close to completing his 4th season as a regular in the side, Chair is more important to the Hoops than ever, and at 25 should be thinking about what's next. Most recently linked with Aston Villa, who already have a number of players who operate in a similar role, it's hard not to think there are better options out there. With Leicester set to lose Youri Tielemans and perhaps even James Maddison this summer, he may present a good value option for the Foxes. 6. Victor Golkaresh. Now a fully fledged Sweden international and having already matched his tally of 17 championship goals from last season, it feels only a matter of time before Coventry striker Viktor Golkaresh gets a chance at a top flight club. Signed by Brighton back in 2018, the 24-year-old went on loan to St. Pauli in the German second tier and then to Swansea before moving to the Midlands in January 2021, making his move permanent that summer. And he's been on fire ever since, playing in all but one championship fixture since the start of last season and averaging a goal or an assist every 147 minutes in a side that seriously dropped off towards the end of the 2021-22 season and spent the opening months of this term in the relegation zone. He's ranked top 3 in the division for non-penalty expected goals, but while he is a predator in the box, there's more to his game than putting the ball in the net. Fast, strong and excellent on the turn, Golkaresh ranks in the top 2% of forwards outside Europe's top 5 leagues for progressive carries, successful take-ons and progressive passes received, meaning he isn't reliant on others to create chances for him, carving out scoring opportunities for himself after picking up the ball in deeper areas and taking on responsibility in build-up. An excellent all-round centre-forward, it was no surprise to see the 24-year-old linked with Leeds. He would certainly be an asset to a club with mid-table ambitions and in need of goals. 5. Joao Pedro. It's mad to think that Watford secured the services of Joao Pedro all the way back in 2018, before he had even made a senior appearance for Fluminense, with the young Brazilian finally touching down in Hertfordshire in January 2020. Since then, he has suffered relegation twice, scoring 9 in the Championship to help them earn promotion in 2021 and netting another 9 so far this term at the time of writing. A step up from Vicarage Road has felt inevitable for the last 2 years, but following a £30 million bid from Newcastle last summer, a contract extension was announced tying him to the club until 2028, meaning it will likely take significantly more than that for the Championship outfit to part with their most valuable asset. But as this video goes out, they are in 11th, and if they fail to make the playoffs this season, it would be understandable if the Brazilian began to get itchy feet. And there's nothing to suggest he can't be a starter for a top club. Only 6 players completed more take-ons than him in the Premier League last term, and playing primarily behind the striker this season has seen him develop his passing game. Still just 21, Joao Pedro can probably afford one more season in the second tier, but if new manager Chris Wilder can't get the Hornets buzzing, then he may need to flee the nest. 4. Illuman Jay. The second Sheffield United player on our list, Illuman Jay has been a sensation for the Blades this term, recently scoring the winner against Tottenham to take them into their 3rd FA Cup quarter-final in 4 years. Also featuring for Senegal at the World Cup, the 23-year-old has seriously boosted his profile in 2022-23. Having originally signed from non-league Boreham Wood via a short spell with grassroots outfit Rising Ballers when he was 19, he has become a key member of the side since their relegation back to the Championship 2 years later. Manager Paul Heckingbottom initially joined the club as under-23 coach back in 2020 and so has witnessed the forward's development perhaps more than anyone else, handing him his debut in 2021 the day after he took over from Chris Wilder as interim manager. His faith has been repaid with 18 goals and 9 assists in the Championship since the start of last season, from a player whose broad attacking skill sets make him one of the most watchable in the division. With his contract up in 2024, it's no surprise the club are keen to extend. It will be interesting to see if he can translate his current form to the Prem. 3. Ryan Giles. Middlesbrough's transformation under Michael Carrick has been one of the stories of the Championship this season. Go and check out the video we dedicated to him after this. And key to his success has been the performances of Ryan Giles, whose 9 assists make him the most productive creator in the division at the time of writing. And it's no fluke, with no player in the Championship matching his 0.32 expected assists per 90. Since making his debut for Wolves in 2019, the Telford-born youngster has been on loan to 6 different clubs, getting his breakthrough at Cardiff last season, where he also created 9 goals in league play. And no one has played more minutes than the Englishman at the Riverside this term, with his move from left wing back to left back under Carrick doing nothing to dull his attacking prowess. Giles is creating 2.2 chances per 90 this term, not only the best average in the Borough squad, but also more than anyone at his parent club, with no Wolves fullback even managing 1 per 90. Despite their improvement under Julian Lopetegui, the Black Country sides still struggle in the final third, ranking joint bottom of the Prem with Everton and Southampton for goals scored. bringing Giles back into the fold seems like a no-brainer. 2. Amadou Diallo. Another loanee lighting up the second tier this term is Man United's Amadou Diallo, who has helped Sunderland comfortably establish themselves back in the second tier after 4 years in League One. Signed from Atalanta back in 2020 for a fee that could rise to over €40 million with add-ons, Diallo has struggled for game time at Old Trafford, with the club spending big on Jadon Sancho and Antony to push him further down the pecking order, and the emergence of Alejandro Garnacho and Facundo Pellistri doing little to help his cause either. He also struggled to make his mark on loan at Rangers last season, scoring on his debut but making just 4 starts in the league and staying glued to the bench throughout their run to the Europa League final. But it's been a different story at the Stadium of Light, with the Ivory Coast international netting 8 times from his first 20 starts for the Black Cats. He remains incredibly raw at 20, still completing less than 40% of his take-ons and significantly overperforming his XG. But if he continues to get regular minutes, a chance at a top-flight club is on the cards, even if United remain close to him. 1. Ismaila Sarr. We finish off with the most obvious pick. It's pretty mad to think that Ismaila Sarr has stuck it out at Watford for not 1 but 2 championship campaigns, helping them earn promotion back to the top flight in 2021 and staying loyal to the Hornets when they went down again last year. Arriving from Rennes for a club record €30 million in 2019, Sarr has consistently contributed across the last 4 years under 10 different managers, such is the way of things at Vicarage Road. And while he failed to hit double figures for goal involvements in 2 separate Premier League campaigns, that's hardly a crime for a young forward playing in one of the division's weakest teams. Linked with Liverpool and Man United back in 2020 and Newcastle as recently as last season, it's clear that Sarr is too big for the English second tier, and with a contract up next year, he could be a great pickup this summer. So those were our 10 players too good for the Championship, but what did you make of our selection, and can you name any more? Let us know in the comments below and we may do a part 2. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like and subscribe to Football Daily if you're new here. Thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.